Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is a special edition where we are going to be focusing on the GST Council's decision of exempting life and health insurance for all the individual policy holders at large. This comes in as a major breakthrough there, and to try and understand what this really means for everyone. So remember, the GST Council has exempted both individual life and health insurance policies from the GST, that's the goods and services tax. Reinsurance costs have also been brought under the exempt category, and this actually marks a major policy shift for the insurance industry at large as well. But we'll try to understand what this truly means for customers, for also insurers and the broader market as well. To help us understand and to decode this for us, we are joined by a very special guest. Dr Tapan Singhel joins in. He's the MD and the CEO of Bajaj Allianz General Insurance, and he's also the chairman of General Insurance Council. Warm welcome to you, sir. Thank you so much for taking the time out and appreciate you joining us on Business Today Television. I want to begin by first understanding from you your thoughts as to how do you see this remarkable step taken by the government of exempting critical life and health insurance policies.
First and foremost, thank you, Sakshi. It's an honor to begin your show.
Thank you.
The other point that you mentioned, I think it's a very welcome step. I'll tell you why. For the past now, if you look at for a couple of years, as industry, we have been demanding that GST should be brought down, because insurance is not a luxury item. It is something which you buy for protection in terms of something goes wrong, to take care of it. It's more like a social security thing which is there. Now on that, GST does not make sense, and that is what we have been saying so. So 2 points here. One, we are very happy to have a government that listens. We said that and they listen, and they brought it to zero. So that's a very, very positive move, and the industry welcomes it because that is how it should be in terms of looking at insurance as a category.
Absolutely. So, Dr. Singhel, help us understand, will this truly make healthcare protection more affordable and more accessible to more and more Indians? Because we always hear that we are still underinsured as a country. Very less percentage of the people still have health insurance, and even lesser have adequate health insurance. So, how do you see this step in forwarding that cause, sir?
Yeah. So, if you see from making healthcare affordable, there are three aspects to it. One, obviously, is the tax, which has come down, which is amazing. It has become zero. I don't think it can be better than that. And that will actually bring down the cost from a customer perspective by 18% straight. I think from the time it gets implemented, that happens, which is in a way substantial if you look at from affordable. But other problem for healthcare is the medical inflation. Now, if the medical inflation is about 3 times the normal inflation, then if you look at the insurance industry, how does it operate? It operates in a manner that the money which it pays out is collected from many to pay out to a few who have a claim. Now, if the outgo becomes more, the premium goes up. So, if the medical inflation is 3 times the normal inflation, you do a compounding effect of it. The worry is that in about 10-15 years' time, this again becomes very, very expensive. So, the next move, I think, which we have requested again the government is there should be a hospital regulator to ensure that the medical inflation also stays in line with the normal inflation of the country, because then it becomes and remains affordable for a long time of period. And the third thing is efficiency of insurance companies. Now, if you look at the insurance companies, they have been pushing for transparency. Government set up a national health exchange. All insurance companies logged into that. We still have to see the major hospitals come on board on that. So anything which brings in transparency, which brings in transparency of cost, transparency of the issue which is there in terms of the outgo, is going to be a long-term sustainable thing in terms of keeping it very affordable as a healthcare. So the bigger issue here is that the healthcare for a country, we should actually see that 10 to 15 years from now, does it remain affordable, and does it be good for citizens of India? It's not only about insurance. Yes. Now coming to the insurance part of it, the insurance industry also, if you look at it, is very competitive. The combined ratio for the industry is about 112 to 116 to 120%. That's how it keeps on varying. For the past 15, 17 years, it has been that high, which means for every 100 rupees that the industry takes, the outgo is about 115 to 117 rupees, which is there. Now, in a competitive environment like this, it pushes the industry to be more and more efficient at all points of time. So if you look at generative AI, if you look at automation happening, the industry keeps on doing so it keeps the cost coming down as it progresses. So you combine these three together, medical inflation to be in line with normal inflation, the taxes coming down, and the industry to keep on pushing efficiency, and that would ensure that healthcare in India remains affordable for a long time, and people are able to afford insurance and push that up.
Fantastic,
now the
sir.
second, sorry, the
Please,
second point you
go ahead,
mentioned,
sir.
second point you mentioned is in terms of the penetration. Now, penetration also, my view always has been that insurance is something which is for social cause. The government and insurance companies have to work together at all points of time because India does not have something like a social security in terms of putting that together. Now, look at government took out coverage for all which are below poverty line. Now, that was again a phenomenal move that covered 30, 40 crore Indians. Now they have bought in coverage for over 70 years, which is there. Yes. So if you add all together, I think the uninsured population today is about 50 crores for health. No, the rest of them are actually would be covered in that perspective. Okay. Now, there also my suggestion to the government has been that if you look at some of the developed markets, they have a mandatory insurance done from the employer to employee perspective. Yes. So all employers to insure their employees. Now, if that comes into play, then I think you have a full coverage. And if it moves to Viksit Bharat, that would be a big move in that category.
Fantastic. So, I think a lot of people would want to really understand what will be the difference in premiums that they have to pay after the September 22nd when these GST rates will be effective. Also, a lot of people will be wanting to know what happens to the existing policies and what happens to the new policies. If you could just throw some light on that.
So an immediate drop of 18%, no? Because that is where the GST drop would happen, becomes zero. So that would happen. Now, in the existing policy, also the good part of general insurance is that's mostly an annual contract, no? Which means it comes up again for renewal every year. Some policies are for 3 years, but most of the policies are for every year. When they come up for renewal, again, if there's a 0% GST regime, so they get the benefit of that immediately. Now, for the past policy, the issue is that the GST has already been paid for, no? So that would not have any kind of refund. So the issue is for 22nd, policies purchased would have an 18% benefit straight off because of the GST becoming zero. Second, all renewals coming up will have that benefit going forward. And the good part is mostly annual renewals. So that would be from a consumer perspective a good move.
Okay. Sir, what is your overall understanding from the industry at this point in time? Do they want to pass on the entire benefit? Will some premiums get hiked going forward from here? What is the understanding at this point, sir?
Yeah, so I think the industry's concern had been on the input tax credit, no?
Yes.
That is where it would be there. And that's why you look at with the reinsurance also, no, being made tax exempt, which is again a good part. And second, what you're forgetting in the equation is for hospitals also, for healthcare also, the government has provided relief.
Yes.
No? Now, if the relief has been provided for hospital also, like the industry, we are committed to pass on the full benefit to the customer. If the hospitals also pass on the benefit to the customer of the relief being provided to them, it would mean a lower claim ratio for the insurance industry, no? To that level. So the input tax credit, which would be the loss for the industry, can actually be made up if the hospital pass on the benefit of GST exemption to them, to the patients and to the consumer that they have, which will also offset the claims outgo for the industry. So in a way, I am very confident, and to all the leaders of the industry I have spoken to, they all say that they will be passing on the full benefit to the consumer.
In the short term, sir, do you see some kind of a margin pressure that the industry and incumbents will have to incur because of this?
So if you actually look at input tax rate also, what impact does it have? It will be about 3 to 4%, no, which would be there. And that is why I mentioned the fact that the hospital also have a benefit. If you look at from 12 to 5% in most cases, that has come down. If that benefit also is passed on to the consumer, and that is in a way also comes to the insurance company for all there, then in the overall picture that should be offsetting it, and the industry also keeps on working on the efficiency. So I think the industry should be able to pull it out. It is just about how they get also the hospital on board for the benefit that they have to pass on to the consumer, and have that reflects there, and the industry also should, because see, it's a good move by the government. The industry has to and is welcoming it, and they also have to put in their bit of collaborating together with the hospitals and there to ensure that the customer gets the full benefit passed on to them.
Right. So definitely we need to have hospitals also on board to really ensure that the entire benefit is passed on to the consumers at large. But just to understand, premium hikes, are we looking at that as of now or not yet, sir?
Not. Okay. So I can commit for my company, not at all. For the industry also, the leaders I've spoken to, they also have committed that there will not be a premium hike happening.
So affordable policies is what we are looking at, and it will be truly a good Diwali. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to us and throwing all that insight to our viewers as well. And thank you so much for speaking to us to give us a broad understanding of what the GST rationalization would mean for the insurers as well as for the customers at large. Always appreciate your time, sir. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, Sakshi. My honor.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, viewers, there you have it. Exclusive chat with Dr. Tapan Singhel, as he definitely believes that this is a remarkable step by the government, and it couldn't have been better. You know, a 0% or an exemption on life and health insurance. At least at this point in time, he did say that for his own company, they're not looking at a premium hike, even at the industry level, as he's given to understand. No premium hikes as of now, but he did also point out for the customers, the end customers, to enjoy the entire benefit. Even hospitals will have to come on board and pass on that benefit to the patients at large as well, so that there are lower claim ratios as well going forward from here. Lower claims to put at that. But thank you so much, viewers, for being with us on this special. I hope this has given you enough and more clarity from the industry perspective as to how are they really looking at this GST rationalization and a complete exemption from life and health insurance policies as far as GST is concerned. And this should definitely, straight away, as Dr. Tapan Singhel mentioned, an 18% reduction in your premium outgo will get reduced, because this will be passed on, is what we are given to understand. Many thanks for being with us. Stay tuned. Much more coming in on the other side.
Joining us now is Sanjeev Sanyal, economist, author and member of the Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council. Mr. Sanyal, good morning to you and thank you